Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Jane and I am an engineering PhD candidate here in the US. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the US F1 visa interview and how to show proof of funding. Now, when you go for your F1 visa, one of the questions is, how do you intend to fund your studies? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the type of funds that you should go with, the documents that you need, the people that can fund you, the amount of money that you need to show, and how long you need to have the money in your account. And I'm also going to give you some tips on how to answer this particular question so that you have your visa approved. So just keep watching. Now, before I start talking about all these points that I've listed, I want to say thank you to my current subscribers. Thank you so much for coming back to watch my video. I really appreciate it. And if you are not yet a subscriber, if this is your first time coming to my channel, or even if it's not your first time but you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I just want to say to please click the subscribe button down below. Let's stay connected. I have series of video on US F1 visa interview. Make sure to check them out after watching this video, and trust me, they're really going to help you in order to have your visa approved. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment, and also share this video to people that you know are going for their visa interview. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is the type of fund that you need to show. Now, when you're going for your US F1 visa interview, if you are funded by your school, say you have a scholarship or an assistantship, you shouldn't worry about showing proof of funding, because when the visa officer asks for your I-20, you're going the scholarship, the funding, assistantship, or whatever you got is going to be written on your I-20. So showing proof of funding is not going to be an issue for you. That was my own case when I went, but I understand that not everyone gets full scholarship, or some people will get partial scholarship. So if you got partial scholarship, or you didn't get any scholarship at all, which means you're going to be funding yourself, then you need to keep watching this video. So what kind of funds do you need to go with? The type of fund that you need to go with is what I will refer to as liquid funds, and this refers to money that is easily accessible. And the way that you can have money that is easily accessible is by having it in a bank account, whether in a form of savings account or in a form of loan. So I've seen people say things like, what about if I show document for properties that I have or properties that my parents have? Is that allowed? If you have something like real estate or you have stocks, you can't show that as your proof of funding, because that real estate is not something that you can easily get the money immediately if you want to get it. And it's also, let's say stock, if you stock, for instance, stocks rise and fall, so you can't tell them that because you have Tesla stocks worth $1,000, you'll be able to fund yourself. What if by tomorrow Tesla drops, Tesla stock falls, and you no longer have the money you say you have? So they want to see that you have cash that is readily accessible. So the kind of funds you need to show is money in a bank account that is readily accessible. Now, the second thing I'm going to talk about is who can fund you. So the number one easiest way to fund yourself is by getting a scholarship from the university, whether scholarship or as in the form of a research assistantship, teaching assistantship, graduate assistantship. That is the easiest way to get funding. But if you did not get that, that is totally fine. You can still school in the US. Now, the next way to fund yourself is by getting funds from your family, maybe from your father, from your mother, from your brother, from your sister, and also maybe from yourself. Say for instance, you're already working before you decide to come over to the US to study, so you can also be your sponsor. Now, the next part is you can also have your uncle, your auntie, your cousin, your relative, your grandmother, your grandfather. Any of these persons can be your sponsor. But now, for them to be your sponsor, they need to be a proof that they can sponsor you. And something that is really important is that when you go for your visa interview, it is not enough to go with documents that is saying, okay, my grandfather is going to be sponsoring me. And when they ask you, how do you intend to fund your studies, you just bring out the document and show them. And that is not enough. You need to be able to explain to them that this person will be funding you and why this person will be funding you. If you've watched one of my F1 visa video. Like I said, I have series of videos on F1 visa. Make sure to check those videos out. They are really helpful. So in one of the videos, I talked about how you need to explain. For instance, you say your uncle is going to be your sponsor, so don't just go to the visa interview and when they ask you how do you intend to sponsor yourself, you say, oh, my uncle is my sponsor, and then you carry your uncle's document and you show the visa officer. That is not enough. You need to explain further. I talked about that in the video. You need to explain further by telling them my uncle is going to be my sponsor because he has, for instance, it's just an example, because he has been sponsoring me right from when I was in high school, maybe because I lost my dad, or maybe because I lost my mom, or maybe for one reason or the other. So he has been the one sponsoring me right from when I was in primary school. My point is that you have to give reason, you have to explain further, you have to be able to convince them. It's not enough for you to just go with a document and show them. Now, the third thing I'm going to talk about is how much money do you need to have in your bank account for them to be able to approve your visa. Like I said earlier, I was fully funded, so I didn't have to start looking for who to sponsor me. But because this is a question that a lot of you have been asking me, I had to go do my research for me to be able to make this video. Now, when it comes to the amount of money you need to have in your account, there is no rule. From what I found, there is no rule that says you need to have 2 times the money on your I-20 or 3 times or 5 times the money. But the point is they want to see that you can fund yourself and also that it's going to be sustainable, in the sense that, let's say on your I-20 the amount of money you need is $25,000, and then if you're going for your interview and you go with a bank account that is showing a bank statement that is showing $10,000, of course they're not going to approve your visa, because you're telling them that when you get to the US you don't even have enough money to pay the school fees or your tuition or your living expenses for 1 year. So what's going to happen when you can't even afford to pay for 1 year? What about the year after that? So what they want to see is that you'll be able to fund yourself for that first year, and also the means through which you're using to fund yourself is sustainable, in the sense that if you're going and you see your dad is your sponsor, the bank statement you are showing, for instance, I said let's assume the money you need is $25,000. The bank statement you go with should have up to $25 and a little bit above $25. So there's no exact amount on how much you should go with, but make sure it is up to the amount that is required and a little bit above it, so that you are telling them that I have enough money to pay everything that is required, and after paying that I still have extra. This will show them that you're not going to be a liability when you come over to the US. And also another question that might follow that is, what does your father do? So you've said your father is going to sponsor you, you've shown the bank statement that shows more than $25,000, that means he's capable of sponsoring you. But another question that they can ask you is, what does your father do for a living? And the reason why they're asking this question is they want to see that whatever he does, is this something that after paying your tuition for that year, will he be able to pay it again for next year? So if they ask you this question and then you tell them and they see that your father has a constant source of income, then you stand a high chance of being approved. Or even if it's not your father, you say your uncle is going to sponsor you, and then when they check what your uncle is doing, they see how he has a constant source of income, then that shouldn't be a problem. So I've talked about the people that can fund you and how much money you need to have in your account. And also now let's talk about the documents that you're supposed to go with. When you're going to get someone as your sponsor, let's continue using your dad as your sponsor, or maybe your uncle or your grandmother as your sponsor. So number one, you need to go with a bank statement. I think the bank statement should be at least 6 months old, that shows the inflow of money into that account. And also you need to go with a sponsorship letter, or I think it's all called financial affidavit or something like that, something from the person that is saying that, okay, my name is so and so person, I am an uncle to this person, or I am a father to this person, and I am willing to sponsor this person. So you need to go with a document that shows that this person is willing to fund you. And also you need to go with the person's salary statement or income statement or whatever, something that will be able to tell the visa officer that this person has a constant source of income and will be able to continually fund you. And also if you have any other financial document that you think is going to be helpful, say for instance you are going to be studying under a loan, If there are documents that you need to get from the bank that will show, okay, the bank is seeing that this person has been given this loan for so and so reason and blah blah blah, whatever that is going to show that you are actually getting this money. So make sure you go with all your documents. You don't want to get there and because of that one document that you did not go with, your visa get denied. So make sure you go with the bank statement that you the bank statement of your sponsor. If you can get the salary statement of your sponsor, sponsorship letter, whatever documents that you can go with that shows that you are able to fund yourself. Now when you're going for your visa interview, I've done series of videos. Make sure you go with everything you can go with and prepare yourself so that when you get there, there will be no reason why you should be denied or you should be denied. So make sure you go with all the documents that are required. I've talked about the type of fund that you need. You need to be liquid fund, that is money that is in cash, is in a bank account that is easily accessible, whether in the form of savings or in the form of loan. I've talked about the people that can fund you: your parents, your uncle, your cousin, your auntie, your neighbor, somebody that is willing to sponsor you. I've talked about the document that you should go with: the bank statement, the sponsorship letter, affidavit of support, the person's salary statement, other financial documents that can help you. I've talked about the amount of money that you need, and also I've talked about how you should answer this question. Remember, when you go there and they ask you, don't just show the document and you stand and be waiting for the visa officer to look at it and see that, okay, you have up to that amount in your account, so you'll be able to sponsor yourself. Go ahead and talk, explain yourself, explain the relationship you have with this person and why this person is going to sponsor you. Make sure you explain yourself, be confident, explain yourself very well, and then you stand a high chance of having your visa approved. I hope you find the tips that I've shared in this video helpful, and that as you prepare to go for your interview, and when you go for your interview, they will really help you and that you have your visa approved. I wish you the very best in your visa interview, and I really do hope you get an approval. Thank you so much for watching up to this point, and if you're still watching up till now and you still have not subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button. Let's stay connected. You can also follow me on social media. My Instagram handle is showing up here. Make sure to follow me. Let's stay connected. And once again, thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.